I wanted to give you a really valuable piece of information today, and that's about how you check in on your mind state. Because state of mind is really about your mood, and the only person who creates mood in yourself is you. So, what value is there in understanding about your own mind state? Well, I want you to imagine that holiday feel, and I'll show you the toolkit in a minute, toolkit that you can take away with you. But why is it we feel that expansiveness on a Friday evening, the start of the weekend, or, sitting on the beach with a fabulous book on our holiday? Why do we have that expansive, light, easier feeling than we do on a Sunday evening or a Monday morning? Let's explore that a little bit further. One of the things that I've noticed that we do as humans is we sort of create a rut in our life. So a bit like the farmer who's travelling down the track, the more he goes down that track, the ruttier it becomes. And I'm not saying that you get stuck in ruts, but in teaching, we do have a whole amount of accountability and workload to do. And that's where the rut comes in. Because if we're given something new to do, finding that open mindedness and that easier sort of weekend way of thinking about life doesn't seem to turn up. So, this is about how it can turn up. And I've got a little bit of a PowerPoint just to make it more interesting. So, here we are. How do we manage ourselves? How do we create that mind state that feels easier and lighter as a way of being? So I'm just going to pop myself in the corner. How do we get that expansive way of thinking? How do we get that mind state that really feels clear and creative and very wise instead of that, oh my goodness, rut, not more things to do? Because there's so much to do in education today, and it's really crucial that you can manage that sense of lightness and ease when you're doing it, because you'll get through it so much easier. So what are you doing today? How often do you think about that? What really matters to you today? Are you doing something new? Is it a habit? Is it a timetable? Is it the same thing? There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't feel it's a burden or something that you have to get through. That's a really hard way to be in life. Is there something else you'd rather do? So this is what I was talking about a minute ago. Why does it feel lighter, easier, and less stressful? How come it feels expansive and never ending at the start of a holiday? And that's because of our thinking. Because we've got that holiday thinking going on. We haven't got that Monday morning, I've got all this to do thinking going on. So the performance variable, or the variable between feeling that holiday expansive feeling and feeling that Monday morning feeling, is your thinking. It's as simple as that. Try and be open-minded while you listen. So what do you do? Einstein said, what do you do if you want something different? Because insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a change. That's like the farmer in the rut. When in actual fact, it's the same with teaching. We're going down the same avenue, the same curriculum, the same year group, the same way of doing something. So what's your story? What's your story of being in the rut? And I really want you to think about that. Mine used to be about perfectionism. I had to do everything so perfectly that I ran out of time to do anything else other than work. What are you using your time for? What's your habit? What's your style? What's your way of doing? Sometimes when I'm doing some training, I move around the desk more, I stand up. And that's only a little tweak of the way I do something, but I can't be perfect while I'm standing up. And it's a really good way of me thinking about that. Are you creating ruts of lack? We tend to do this in education. We tend to do it as a human being, and we go up and down the tracks over and over. And the biggest one we say is we don't have time. In actual fact, what we're doing is we have the same amount of time we have on holiday, it's just we cram it full of thinking. So there's a lack of space, there's too much to do. And then because there's too much to do, you get overwhelmed and overthink things, and it feels exhausting. So I want you to take one small action today, one step forward, one piece of understanding of how you create your mind and your mood. And I want you to do this in the best way possible. If you've got mental clarity, you operate or respond neutrally without a personal agenda. You're unconditional about yourself and you're more open to listen. If you're having a difficult conversation, check in on that neutral space, on that okay space I've just talked about, where you've let go of all of that heavy thinking about something, because you want to be of service and add value. Set an intention for yourself, never mind the difficult conversation. What's the outcome for you today? I want to have an easy day. I want it to be plain sailing like the photograph. I want it to be in the best place. I want to really listen deeply to myself. And if I do all of this, how to plan something for myself, then I can easily do it if I bump up against a difficult relationship. So be aware of your emotions. Where are they? Where do you want them to be? Where do you want them to be by the morning break? Where do you want them to be by lunchtime? I love it when the day goes really lightly and easy. And if it doesn't, then I'll check in on where I am, because it's to do with me and my thinking. I'm overthinking something, I'm frustrated, I'm resisting, I'm bumping up against things. And so I let it settle, because I want to think and believe in a day that has opportunity, infinite opportunity, not just lack. So take one small step to begin with. Choose what you're going to focus on. Is it leadership? Is it part of your teaching? What is it where in your life, maybe something at home, that you want to make a difference? And you want to let go of that, I can't, I'm busy, I'm stressed, because you only have to take one small step to get that momentum. Check in on your mood, because if you're clear and you're light, that's the best possible place to be. What will you need to believe? You need to believe you really can do this. What will you need to do? Let go. That's all. Settle that thinking down. Wait until you get into that clear, okay, nothing on your mind, unconditional, non-judgmental space. The space we fall asleep in every night without even thinking. Have respect for yourself. Ease and grace in the workplace, at home, or in any conversation looks like this. It's balanced. It's still. It doesn't have an agenda or is manipulative. It may be clearly structured. Hopefully it's clearly structured, or it may not have structure. It may just be that you turn up and listen deeply without anything on your mind, and each part is dependent on the other. You're at your best when you've got that mental clarity. You operate neutrally without a personal agenda, and you're aware of unconditional regard for another person. You've got this.